Lovely people, I've wanted to do this video for about 3 years. Ever since we made our chickpea episode of How Does It Grow way out west in Idaho, and I tried fresh chickpeas for the very first time. It was so life-changing. I still remember that so well. Let's try a green one. Here we go. Oh, it's so sweet. It's so much better than a green pea because it has the nuttiness of a chickpea. Guys, if you knew how delicious this was, we would all be demanding green chickpeas. I really had a moment where I thought, why don't we here in the United States eat fresh chickpeas, just like all of you do in India and in countries where chickpeas are a real staple to your cuisine. So, 3 years later, I have finally gotten my act together and I have grown chickpeas. So I want to tell you about how it was to grow these and what I have done with them and plan to do. So chickpeas are a legume, and what we eat is the seed itself. So I planted chickpea seeds that I got from Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds, and I planted them in succession. So I started a few indoors and transplanted them out, and then direct sowed a few more. So I have about 6 plants here, and this is the most mature. As you can see, it's sort of the pods and the leaves are yellowing, and I've let them go like that so I can show you what the chickpeas look like in various stages. When we buy dried chickpeas from the market, they've been allowed to dry out in their pods. If you've seen the How Does It Grow episode that I did, you'll see that a big combine takes down all of these chickpea bushes. They thresh out the seeds that grow in the pods, and they are already dried. Now, when they're dry, they're sort of like a rattle. You know that the chickpea is starting to dry out when you've picked the pod and you can start to hear it rattle. So let me show you. This kind that I have is called Kabuli. It's a black Kabuli type. Now, does it taste any different from your normal chickpeas? You know, if I was a real chickpea connoisseur, I might be able to tell you that, but I think it has, the same taste as any other, but it is pretty beautiful. And if I were to make hummus with this, it would come out with maybe just a few sort of chocolate flecks in it. No, it does not make black hummus, but it would be maybe a little bit darker than your normal hummus. Now, I can collect them dried like this, but the point that I have with planting all of these chickpea bushes is that I wanted to eat them fresh. So, as you can see on this plant, we have pods at various stages. Now, chickpea plants will be most prolific if you keep up with the picking of these pods. The more you pick them off, the more they will produce, just like any other bean plant. But like I said, I wanted to show you what they look like in this dried state. I'm going to move further down the line to show you what they look like when they're even less mature. But I'll find a green one here on this plant and show you. So see, it's not rattling. I know you can't hear that, but this one is not rattling like this one was. So it's going to be fresher. Now, 1 to 2 chickpeas will grow in a pod. This one has 2. So these haven't even gotten the black color. They will as they mature, but right now they don't. So I'm going to try them and tell you what they taste like at this stage. That's what I'm talking about. They are sweet and juicy and a little nutty, something that no other pea or bean really has. That is how I am going to pick most of them. But let me show you what these things look like when they're just a little less mature than that, and you will have to wait just a little longer. We'll go down the line here. So you know that they're not quite ready when you squeeze the pod and it has sort of a balloon feeling, like you can feel air in it still, and it will actually make a popping sound when I pop it. And as you can see, this guy is so immature. He's so soft yet that I actually kind of smushed him as I opened him. See, it's just so little, so soft that it wasn't quite ready. So just give it a little squeeze and you know they're not quite ready. When they feel solid, but they're still fresh and green looking, that's when you know they're fully mature, but not dried out yet. One of the wonderful things of growing chickpeas is that, like most of your legumes, they actually fix nitrogen. What does that mean? That means that these plants are able to take nitrogen from the air and convert it into a usable compound to feed your plants. Now, they do this with a symbiotic relationship with a type of bacteria. And that bacteria will hang out on the roots of your plants if it is present in the soil. Now, if it's not present in the soil, you can actually buy that bacteria and inoculate your soil with it, or inoculate the seed when you plant it. And then you know for certain that that nitrogen fixation will happen. Now, I didn't inoculate my seeds, so I will likely not be fixing nitrogen with these plants. Nevertheless, they are so easy to grow. I haven't done anything and they have absolutely flourished. Most of my garden, I take a hands-off approach. I am a no-dig gardener. I put down a new layer of nourishing compost in the beginning, and that's it, guys. I don't fertilize, I don't use pesticides, I just let the ecosystem work everything out. Chickpeas are a great source of high protein and low fat. Lots of you who have reached out and told me that in India you guys actually even eat the leaves. Now, I wish I would have known that. I understand that you eat the leaves before the pods set. There's so many ways to cook fresh chickpeas. I might steam them and then serve them with a little olive oil and garlic. I know that they're used in stews. I know that in Mexico, you guys steam them and put lime and chili on them. But I'm gonna pick some fresh chickpeas, and I hope you consider growing them in your garden next year. If you haven't watched that How Does It Grow episode on chickpeas, go watch that right now, and I'll see you back in the garden real soon, guys.